Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I'd love to meet someone again. I just have no idea where to begin. Nobody teaches us how to start again after 50. One day you're sharing your life with someone, then 20 or 30 years later, through divorce, loss, or simply life taking a different direction, you're expected to know how modern dating works. From dating apps, text messages, unwritten rules, it's enough to make anyone quietly wonder, have I left it too late? But I don't think that's where most women get stuck. I think the biggest mistake happens long before they even meet someone. And once you understand that, everything else becomes much easier. So today, I'd simply like to share 6 things I genuinely believe every woman should know before she starts dating. Not how to find the perfect partner, but how to begin with confidence, protect your heart, and enjoy this next chapter instead of fearing it. Hello, welcome to Midlife with Bernie. If this is your first visit, this is where we have honest conversations about relationships, midlife, and finding our feet again after life changes in ways we never expected. If that sounds like your kind of place, I'd love you to subscribe and join our little community. Now, before we talk about meeting someone, we need to talk about you, because I think this is where almost everyone starts in the wrong place. The first thing I'd encourage you to do is ask yourself why you want to date again. Not because there's a right answer, but because there is an honest one. Are you hoping to share your life with someone, or are you hoping someone will take the loneliness away? They're not the same thing. Loneliness has a way of making almost anyone seem right. Companionship grows much more slowly than that. If you're dating because you're curious about life again, wonderful. If you're dating because you believe another person will rescue you, I'd gently slow down. The healthiest relationships usually happen when 2 people already have a life they enjoy and decide to share part of it together. That brings me to something I don't hear people say very often. Before you look for someone, rebuild the life you want them to walk into. I know that sounds back to front. Most people think, I'll start living again once I meet someone. I honestly think it's the other way around. Start living first, take that cooking class, join the walking group, visit the gallery you've always wanted to see, travel with friends, volunteer, learn Italian, whatever makes you feel curious again. Not because there might be men there, but because you deserve to become excited about your own life again. People who genuinely enjoy their lives don't walk into a room hoping someone will rescue them. They walk into a room already smiling. They're curious, they're relaxed, they laugh more easily, and that's often when the best conversations begin. Not because they were looking harder, but because they were simply enjoying life again. When your world becomes bigger, your chances usually do too. And once your life begins to feel full again, the next question almost always follows. Where do you actually meet people? Dating apps are only an option. Some women love them, others never use them. Neither approach is right or wrong. Friends introduce friends, neighbours know people. You could consider walking clubs, community gardens, book clubs, travel groups, charity work, church or local events. These are doorways, and you only have to walk through one of them. The best place to meet someone is often somewhere you'd happily go, even if nobody asked for your phone number. If the only reason you're there is to meet a man, every conversation feels like a test. But when you're there because you're already enjoying yourself, every conversation simply becomes a bonus. Now there's one more mistake I see women make, and I think it's the one that keeps women stuck than almost anything else. Please don't wait until you feel confident. I understand why. We tell ourselves, I'll start once I lose weight. I'll start when my hair grows. I'll start when I feel younger. Then 6 months pass. Then another year. Can I tell you something I genuinely believe? Confidence is very rarely the starting point. It's usually the reward for doing something that frightened you. Very few women feel confident before that first date, but almost every woman feels confident after it. Sometimes the hardest date you'll ever go on is the one after you've forgotten what it feels like to begin again. You don't become confident sitting at home. You become confident because you eventually said yes to one coffee, one conversation, one small step. Don't look for fireworks. Look for peace. I think we have been taught to chase butterflies, but after 50, butterflies aren't always the best guide. I'd rather leave a conversation thinking, I felt comfortable, I could be myself, or he made me laugh. Peace isn't boring. Peace is often what emotional safety feels like, and after everything many of us have lived through, that's a wonderful place to begin. Before we finish, there's one last thing I'd love to leave you with. You don't need to feel fearless before you begin. You simply need to be willing to be curious enough to take the next step. Have I left it too late? Over the years, I've heard women quietly say, maybe I've missed my chance. Who decided that? Certainly not life. Life doesn't stop offering possibilities because we've celebrated another birthday. I know couples who met in their 60s, others in their 70s. Not because they chased love, but because they stayed open to life. And I think that's where this journey really begins. Not with downloading an app, not with buying a new outfit, not even with saying yes to a date. It begins on one very ordinary afternoon, when you quietly stop saying, perhaps my story is over, and gently begin saying, I wonder what might happen next. Everything else grows from that one decision. I'd love to ask you something. If you're thinking about dating again, what feels like the biggest first step? Is it believing you're ready, meeting new people, or simply believing it's not too late? I'd like to read your thoughts in the comments because I have a feeling there are many women listening today who need to know they're not the only ones asking those questions. And if you enjoy these conversations, subscribe to Midlife with Bernie in the Women's Shed, and I'll look forward to seeing you for part 2. You've said yes. Now what? Until then, take good care of yourself.